Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Angry parents called us saying a student brought a taser to school in Richland County yesterday.
They say it was used on another student. Nobody has been punished, and the student showed up at class today.
Valley News Team's Bradford Eric contacted district officials who said that they were just as surprised to hear about the allegations.
It was here at the junior-senior high in Colfax where our caller said the incident occurred. That caller also saying the student was still in class and no punishment was being doled out at all. This is what we were told was brought to school Wednesday, one student using it on another. I called the Richland County Sheriff. They tell me the school was handling any investigation internally and they were not involved. Superintendent Tim Godfrey says he first learned of the allegations shortly before I called Thursday morning. He said the high school principal was pulling the students into the office to question them, adding he heard it was simply a toy, and the first step of their investigation was to corroborate the story. Late today, the superintendent tells me their investigation found that it was only a small toy that did deliver a small electric shock. He says the two students were trying to see if they could zap each other. The superintendent adds there was no malicious intent here and that the student who did bring the toy to school has since been suspended. In Colfax, North Dakota, Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
And the superintendent wanted to stress that parents entrust school officials with the safety of their children during the day, and administrators take that very seriously.
An unsettling discovery on MSUM's campus this afternoon when a student found a box on top of his car with a 9mm handgun inside. The gun wasn't loaded, but there was ammo in the case. Campus police say that the owner's name was on the case and that they will be contacted. No firearms, even if legally possessed, are allowed on university property, according to the school's student handbook. But you are allowed to lawfully carry in parking areas on campus. Officials are treating this as a found property case.
Police need your help in tracking down a man in a bunny costume that tried to lure a little girl into his van yesterday in Grand Forks. Now, this is what the van looks like. It's an 80s model maroon and silver van with a bunny sticker on the back. Now, the man is described as a light-skinned black man in his 20s or 30s with hazel eyes. He was wearing a bunny costume and a headband with bunny ears. Police say he asked a little girl if he wanted to see a live bunny in the back seat. She ran to her mom and called the cops.
Critical for citizens to help out and provide any information that they have. Right now we've got 88 officers out there looking because obviously it concerns everybody here, but it would be very helpful to have 60,000 people looking instead of just our 88.
If you see the van or have any information, call the phone number on your screen, 701-787-8000. Once again, it's located right there at the bottom of your screen.
An awesome day, and it looks to be a great evening, too. Hutch, what have you got for us?
Well, it does look like we'll see our quiet weather continue. Now, there's been a few more clouds drifting over the FM skyline in the last couple of hours, but no raindrops reaching the ground here out to the west. A few in Stutsman County may be making their way down to the ground, but at last check, Jamestown still reporting dry conditions. Temperatures 60s and low 70s out west of the Red River. To the east, low 60s and a few upper 50s with quiet weather and beautiful conditions continuing in the FM area through sunset tonight. Overnight temperatures slip pretty quickly into those 50s. I'll have details on a change in our forecast for Mom this weekend. Details on that and beyond here in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Hutch.
The leader of a drug trafficking ring that brought loads of heroin to reservations in northern Minnesota and parts of North Dakota has been sentenced. 39-year-old Omar Beasley will spend 25 years in prison after being convicted of conspiracy to distribute illegal drugs. 39 other co-defendants have also been or will be sentenced in this case. Authorities say that Beasley recruited drug sources, managers, distributors, and drivers. The other co-defendants have pleaded guilty. One suspect in the case is still at large.
A California man will be spending 4 years behind bars after being pulled over in North Dakota with about $100,000 worth of pot. 48-year-old Samuel Hanna was pulled over south of Jamestown with more than 16 pounds of marijuana in his vehicle back in March. Hanna claimed the marijuana was for medicinal purposes, but pleaded guilty to a felony drug charge. 5 other charges were dropped by the Stutsman County State's Attorney in exchange for the guilty plea.
A woman who suffers from Lyme disease is warning you to take the small pest seriously. Each year, 300,000 people are diagnosed with Lyme disease, but that number could be higher, according to those living with the non-curable disease.
This month is Lyme Disease Awareness Month, and Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop explains how Lyme disease can be much more than just the typical bullseye rash.
Can you smile?
Here we go.
I can't protect my son from everything in this world.
New mother Hope Schmidt suffers from Lyme disease and worries her son will catch it too. She was diagnosed 3 years ago after several misdiagnoses, but thinks she got it when she was in middle school.
I don't recall ever being bit by a tick. There was never a rash on me. I did grow up in rural Minnesota, so that is something to consider, but I never even thought of it.
She says her symptoms started with joint pain, and Lyme wasn't something her doctors considered. She was eventually tested.
Hardest parts of this disease is that you don't look sick. It's invisible.
Carried by ticks, Lyme disease is a bacterial infection that can affect any organ of the body, including the brain and nervous system.
Can creep up on you instead of just affect you right away.
Tracy Holwagner runs the FM Lyme Disease Support Group. She too did not have the rash or typical signs, and it took years to pinpoint Lyme disease. Her first Lyme test came back negative. There are over 100 strains of the Lyme disease.
I would encourage everybody to do more than one Lyme test. Not everything is going to be Lyme disease, but you have to be your own advocate for health.
Both women are now getting treatment and trying to take back their lives. Holwagner says many people in their support groups have similar stories about being misdiagnosed. Smith says she won't be afraid of the outdoors, but does plan to use preventative steps for her family.
And it terrifies me that a tick the size of a poppy seed could get in his head or in his hair and bite him. We never know it until he got sick.
The longer the tick stays attached, the more likely it will transmit the Lyme into your bloodstream. Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
The Lyme disease support groups meet tonight. The group does and holds meetings each month. If you want more information about Lyme disease or the group, click on this story at valleynewslive.com.
Some Fargo property will be assessed because of the FM diversion project. The city today clarified just what these assessments mean for property owners in the area. Technically, the assessments could result in having to cough up some cash for property owners, but the city's planning to pay for the project's interest entirely with sales tax. The assessments are being sent out because it makes cheaper sense to secure a bond, lowering the overall cost of the project.
It just tells you what theoretically your assessment could be. You're not going to be charged, and sales tax is going to take care of the possibility of paying that bond rate.
Homeowners can dispute the city's assessment of their property at a public hearing next month.
And don't forget, the third annual Officers Down 5K kicks off this Saturday at 2 in the afternoon in downtown East Grand Forks. The event celebrates officers who put their lives on the line daily to keep our communities safe and honors those who have fallen in the line of duty. Organizers are still looking for vendors and volunteers to help with the 5K run and walk. There are lots of fun activities for kids and adults that day. We have information on our website about how you can help out or register for the 5K. Just head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, we're going to show you the newest animals at the Red River Valley Zoo.
All right, but next we'll talk about a little bit of weather today. Wonderful with sunshine, driving temperatures into the 70s from the Red River and points west. A gorgeous but cool start to your day. Your hour-by-hour forecast is coming up next.